Hello and welcome to the Move the Line Prop Drop Show presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Ryan Noonan back with my friends to talk about the best way, the most profitable way to bet on NFL football, which is sadly coming to an end, and that is through player props. We are going to continue here. You want to subscribe to the channel. We have obviously some Super Bowl content still to come. Connor and I will, take a beat for probably a week or so. We'll be right back in it with Move the Line episodes, off-season content, what's going on in the world of football. We will get our hands and fingers dirty in the weeds of the NFL draft, betting to support that as well. So subscribe here to the 4for4 Bets YouTube channel, the podcast feed as well. Joining me here, as always, Connor Allen. What's going on, bud?
Yeah, I know it's been a good week. It's one of those that's, been mirrored by a scandal. It's been pretty crazy out here, and one that, has shook the world. And I don't think that people understand fully the ramifications that it might have on the industry. So, I'm excited to talk about the episode, but as we're trustworthy folks. We got slop paying for mortgages out there. We got us, probably paying for not quite mortgages, but, maybe a couple of things here and there. So, hey, we're doing this the right way. We're not like the NFFC or whatever it is.
Oh boy. Oh, joining us here as always, a man from Odds Jam. It's handsome as the day is long. Find him on Twitter @SlopRules. John, hi, Slop. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, Connor, I'm not even a fantasy guy. I don't know what kind of I guess I'm a betting guy, and that's it. But I don't really get into the fantasy streets. But I watched an hour-long episode of podcast. I meant to watch the first couple of minutes to find out what was happening, but I just kept watching. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, dude, no shit. So yeah, wild stuff, Connor. Wild stuff.
Yeah. So more of more fantasy related, but if you have people have not aware, you were completely outside of the bubble of what can happen in fantasy, and there are numerous postseason. Again, there are numerous. This company hosts regular season fantasy of all sorts and shapes and sizes. There's been some alleged, not even alleged at this point, some caught cheating. I don't even have to dance around alleged to cover my own ass. The guy who cheated has got his own ass to cover here. Connor, if you want to share a little bit about what's going on in that, we're just kind of talking, pre-show about that. We thought let's just hit the button and we can talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that's been going on and how it's just interesting because integrity is a big piece of all that we're doing in the speculative football space, whether it's, we deal with it. We talked about it a couple episodes ago around football, Twitter cappers and locks, but go all in on this, posting dead numbers, lines from pick'em only sites. Yeah. All this crap that, so it is somewhat these things are kind of in the same, they're in bed together, but yeah. Connor, if you could fill the folks in, briefly.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a quick summary. So if you guys want to listen to the whole hour-long episode, it's over on the Ship Chasing YouTube channel. Peter Overzet, Pat Crane, Ben Gretsch all did a great job breaking that down. And the reason that they figured it out is because they were in the contest near the top. And so basically what happened, it's like a playoff fantasy contest, whatever, a couple $100 entry. And the way that it happened is they were near the top with someone else, and they made a decision to pick Travis Kelce. And the other people picked Rashee Rice at lock. So they all screenshotted it, sent it to each other. And they're like, oh, this is awesome. And then 30 minutes later, after Travis Kelce scored a touchdown and it was having an awesome game, they see that the guy didn't move down at all and said went up. So they're like, how is this possible? Because he's Rashee Rice and we have Travis Kelce. And he changed it to Travis Kelce somehow. So they go back and look at the log. They find out that he was changed his player in the lineup after lock. And then, so they're like, wow, how could this be possible? Yada, yada. They went back and forth, talked to NFFC. NFFC confirmed that this happened, and the employee involved, who I think was helping a cousin or something, that it was revealed, or someone maybe loosely related, was changing the lineup. And so everyone was obviously like, well, if this happened once randomly, that one person randomly found, it probably happened again. Now there's more people tweeting out other examples with literally screenshots of times where someone has won a lot of money, right? What was it, Noonan? It was a couple $100,000, I think, somewhere. It was.
Yeah, I think the guy in question has the family member who's got a top 5 finish in the last couple of years. 20K. So yeah, not great. Not great.
Yes. So, this is obviously massive. And then what makes this whole thing even better is that the owner of the company came out on their forum or whatever, apologizing to everyone, but had went through the full grieving cycle within a day. And so it was I was really mad, but then I forgave him. But then I realized it was just demons. Demons were inside of him, and he's got to get rid of those demons, but I fully support him. And which, I mean, look, I get it. If you personally want to have those opinions, if that's how you go through the process of your whole company being completely fucked, I understand. But that is 0% the right PR move. Complete disaster. Now people are trying to dig up more. So I don't know. I thought it was wild. We were talking about a pre-show, and I was like, we just got to hit record and let air some grievances here because, I mean, first off, scumbag behavior, like as Timothy said near the chat. But second off, the Demons plot this was wild.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a great addition to the story, to be honest with you. Like, as a guy, like, see, I watch from the outside, so I'm not involved at all. Like, I haven't played DFS in years. I sucked when I did. I just only did because we didn't have gambling here in Massachusetts. So, like, what else are you going to do? But I was into it. I understand it. It's just, you just never did it. To hear something like this, though, and to watch it unfold, like, right in front of you is crazy, because this is probably the last thing that these companies need happening is people getting screwed in big money contests, because integrity is literally the only thing you have to have in these. Like, the people coming in and putting their money in have to know that no one's going to get to change a lineup after a guy scores a touchdown. Like, that's the only thing that has to happen. Like, other than that, like, you can pretty much let the shit can go crazy.
Pretty low bar, Slop. Pretty low bar.
If you get that one thing alone, you'll probably survive for a while. You don't have that, you're not going to survive it. Like, that's the last to see them watch.
And what we were saying too is that, like, it felt like the guy was handling it as it was like a message board in your home league, and like, hey guys, this guy's been our friend for a long time. Really sorry about this. Yeah. It sucks, right? Like, we lost a friend. This is a real bummer. You are a business. You are you were running a company. That was not a letter to the other 10 people in the home league. Like, you have people I'm sure people are putting a crap ton of money, playing multiple entries and all sorts of stuff in there. Like, that's not what you're doing here. So it was really wild to have that, like, and that guy's been around for a very long time in the space, is like a fantasy guy and hosting these things. Like, you just got to know better. It's just very interesting to see. Like, I was telling the guys too, like, if you've been around for a while or you've been in the DFS space, everyone, like, the old thing in the news was Ethan Gates. At the time, Ethan was my boss, hired me, was my direct report at DraftKings. Very nice kid, had access to the ownership in DraftKings contests. At the time, employees were allowed to play. You just couldn't play on DraftKings if you work for DraftKings. You could play on DraftKings if you work for FanDuel, but not vice versa. Ethan had access to ownership on DraftKings and sent out a tweet kind of like showing that he had access to it. Happened the same day as the tweet went out and banked a big tournament on FanDuel. This is nowhere near that. You could give me ownership on one site. You can give me ownership on the one same site, and I could still make you a absolute loser of a lineup. That's not what Ethan did, and that blew up in a massive, massive way. It got, like, the government involved and all sorts of stuff. Like, that was nowhere near this. And I'm not just, like, caping up for Ethan because I felt like he got dragged for no reason. Because, again, it looked bad. The aesthetics of it were really bad. This is all of that and more. This is like the assumption of whatever you thought that Ethan could have been possibly doing, with knowing, again, a completely different game. DraftKings, like, roster style, points, completely different, salaries, but, like, this was like one-on-one post-game cheating. So kind of a wild thing. I'm interested to see where it goes. They came out with a guarantee, Slop, but this was the only time.
No, I said that was the thing I was talking about, the integrity. Like, that wasn't even bad. I remember when that happened. I remember thinking, because, like, I was so, like, not good. Like, I really didn't understand how ownerships could even help you. And I was thinking, like, that really wasn't, like, that bad. Does that make sense? Like he knew owners. Like, that is nowhere near, like, changing a lineup after a guy scored a touchdown. That's absurd. Like, that's just so, like you should be in jail. Like you should literally go to jail for that. Like, that should be you should lock the dude up. Like, I'm not even a lock him up guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'd say let live, see what happens, let them fall where they fall. But that's crazy, bro. Like, that's a little too much living for me.
It honestly reminds me of the McDonald's Monopoly scandal. I don't know if you saw that with, like,
the
guy running the Monopoly scandal knew, like, basically had access to the tickets. So he would feed them to family members and friends in different locations, be like, hey, you need to go to this thing at this time and buy something. And then here's the ticket. And then, like, you'll have it. So that was pretty wild too. If you haven't read about that, that's a pretty cool.
It was even
interesting
worse than
scandal,
that.
not cool.
They made
Yeah,
it was
that was
a
just
Netflix
like
documentary.
helping
They were
out.
handing it to people. Yeah.
Like this is like that's way past helping. It's like, all right, well, like I don't know, like that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, it's wild. And you know, I think the whole demon thing was just like a massive cope and super strange. But I mean, the reality is it's greed. I mean, it's like you're greedy because you not only did this once, you've done this at least multiple times. I mean, I would guess 10, 20 times. I mean, how many times does this happen? Every year there's a major contest, probably.
I take the over.
So right. So like,
Always.
I mean, you not only had
25, 30.
literally the balls and lack of
Balls.
integrity to do it once, but you are so fucking greedy that you went back for more. Like every year, just like fuck it, I'm never gonna get caught.
Well, that's
It's
the thing,
so
right? So you don't get
stupid.
caught the one time. Why? Like, what are we doing? Why wouldn't we? You push. That's kind of what this always happens, right? It's how there's all those like, I forget what MSNBC is like greed, like those like they do these like hour long
American Greed.
American Greed, fantastic,
Great show,
great show. But it's all like you dip your toes in. And you don't get caught, and you're like,
gotta get more, dude.
You gotta go get back and get more.
Let's see
so
where
like,
this thing goes.
Yeah. So like, there's of course you got in, you got out without anything happening. Your boy won 20K. Like, what's up?
I don't blame him for doing it again. I'll be honest. That's the only thing I kind of agree with the guy on. Like, let's just go until they stop it. You know what I mean? Like, keep running the same play over and over. But like, I just think the stealing in the first, like, that's just because like. You're not even like, even if you want to get on like justifying stealing, like you're stealing from like regular guys that are like, I don't know. Like there's got to be some code between like gamblers that like we don't steal from each other. I'll play you for it, but like I'm not going to fucking steal it from you. Like that's messed up. Like, I don't know. That again, that's why you should go to jail. That's jail time. Like there's no, 100%. If I was the judge, let's say I was in charge, jail. Like today,
straight to jail.
Bonds, we'll talk about it in a year from now.
Yeah, not great. So yeah, hopefully that's again, it's not betting per se. We're in the same family, but it's same integrity levels we would hopefully have here. So yeah, greed is the demon, I guess, Connor. So
the demons, the demons is very fun. Like that's a great twist to the story. Again, I like watching it unfold. I hope they find like 10 or 15 more. And I'm sorry to anyone that got stolen from, but like, dude, the toothpaste already had a tube. Like, you all got fucked. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. But like, I kind of want to hear about more of them, just because I want to hear like what do you say after you come out and say that it only happened once and it was an accident. I think it was an accident. The first, like, until they found a second one, they're like, well, maybe that wasn't. You know what I mean? You're like, well, buddy. How do you not see that there's like going to be way more of these? Like you got to like get in front of that, and he didn't. So now it's just fun to watch what's going to happen when they find more. Does that make sense?
It's been a master class of PR disaster. Like literally just we guarantee nothing else happened. Like how can you even guarantee that? Like how would you know that nothing else happened?
I can take a crap in a box and mark it guaranteed. I have the time. Yeah, that's a old Tommy Boy reference, but like it doesn't mean anything. And there's no chance you had the time. Like you didn't have the time. Don't do that to yourself. Don't box yourself in the corner. And they did.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
that's a lesson right there. Don't box yourself. Hey, kids, all the kids watching, never, ever, ever box yourself in the corner.
No. 4-for-4 bets with the addition of high slop. We're on the up and up. We're giving, like you said, no stale bread. We give you live lines. That's the best that we can do from an integrity standpoint.
Down with the ship too.
Slop wants to bet alts on the number of times that this guy did this, which I absolutely love. That is also on brand. Slop. He's not taking the binary, over under 4.5. He wants to go. He's
never under. So
let's push it.
This is a lock. This is a lock.
All caps. Let's go.
All caps. All of them.
We're still going to have 2 Super Bowl shows. We'll have a regular show to do, game breakdowns, and then we'll do a prop show of some form. So again, subscribe to the channel. We don't know what that schedule looks like as well yet. A couple weeks off for a little bit of a break between this weekend games and the big game. But again, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. If you want to get access to the picks and all that we have going on over at 4-4, even though the time is running out to the end of the season, the betting subscription takes you to the end of February. That gets you obviously this weekend. So get you the Super Bowl. We got a Super Bowl menu, pretty expansive. You want to get in the Discord, see all the things that we're talking about. You're very passionate, like-minded community that I'm sure will be looking to uncover every angle for the big game as well. Again, $9.99, super cheap. So 4for4.com/plans, less than $10. Again, that's going to get you a lot of NBA picks as well. MMA events between now and the end of February too. You can check that out for really cheap. Again, No discount code needed or anything. Just go to the plans page, 4for4.com/plans. All right. Connor, a little tougher this week. Floor is yours to start. Obviously, to pick a couple of props and some like spice is a little trickier when we don't have a full slate, but I think we managed to do it this week. I'll give you the floor, let you get started with the playoffs here. What do we got?
Yeah, my first one is going to be an over. I already played all my unders, which we'll talk about later. Got to gross slop out a little bit still, but I played my first over of the week right now. Justice Hill over 50.5 rushing and receiving yards combined. I like the combined prop specifically here. Hill led the Ravens last week in snaps, touches, and yards in a dominant win over Houston, despite them playing with the lead. The Ravens have ramped up his usage too. I mean, he's looked good the last few weeks. The last 3 games, he's, played way more. He's had over a 50% routes run rate in those games. In those 3 games, 57, 112, 77 combined yards. Now he gets the Chiefs. Chiefs are allowing over 5 yards per carry out of the shotgun. Ravens are allowing one of the second highest rates in the league in runs out of the shotgun. So they run the ball a bunch out of shotgun. I think that kind of spells for a little bit more Justice Hill than Gus Edwards anyways. And then if we get any negative game script here, I mean, Justice Hill is going to have 100 rushing receiving yards because it'll be like 50 receiving yards. But regardless, I think that this is a good look from the rushing standpoint. He could hit 50 rushing yards, I think, pretty easily. But you add in the receiving component here. I really like the over. You can bet this on DraftKings 275 plus or plus 340, which I think it should be closer to like 60 rushing receiving yards, 65 rushing receiving yards is the regular line. So massive value there. And then 100 plus rushing receiving yards is like 10-1 right now. So I played this line at FanDuel, which is minus 110 right now. But I think that all are good looks and that could be a lot of Justice Hill, could be a lot of Gus Edwards. I think you're going to see just like a bunch of that from both backs here. So I think we see a good chunk of both here.
Over for Connor. Just get started, Slop. Any thoughts on Ravens backfield there, Justice Hill, how that breaks out?
Yeah, I have no idea how that game's going to go. Like, I'm pretty scared of that game. But I do like that, though. It's an over. Connor actually looked into it. I'm in.
Yeah, it's like Connor talked about last week, his conviction on my tackle underplays. It's kind of my conviction on Connor's some of his overplays. I know it's not something he defaults to. So when he feels that there's an edge to be had in an over, knowing that that's not how he typically works.
Yeah, he doesn't want to even do it. Like, he has to.
He doesn't want to do it.
His hands are tied.
If he sees it, I know he's looking as hard as he can to poke a hole.
And he makes sense to it. And he's like, I have to take this over. I don't want to. He's like mad about it.
Thanks for not pouting, Connor, and sharing with the people. Slop, what do you got for us? What's the first one for you today?
All right, so I don't love either game. I don't see a ton of you can ladder all the way up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go up to the moon. But what we could do with the 49ers game, Brock Purdy over, I'm looking at the screen right now. They're over 29.5 pass attempts or minus 122 at FanDuel. It's 30.5 everywhere else. So there is that. I mean, here's the thing, though. I think he's going to have to throw the ball. Like, he threw the ball 39 times in that game last week. They barely won. I don't think the Lions are a real 7-point dog. I think they could cover or at least give a game. On top of that, I think they can stop the run enough to kind of force San Francisco's hand, even if, it is like one of those neutral game scripts. The last 7 quarterbacks to face the Lions all threw the ball more than 31 times. So, I mean, we're talking Justin Fields is one of those guys, and he's not even allowed to throw. So, we got options here. Also, too, from a game script perspective, the last time the Ravens lost with Purdy was Christmas against the Ravens. He threw the ball 32 times that night. He didn't even finish that game. I think Darnold threw the ball like 14 times. So let's say Purdy doesn't get benched, which that's a big if. Like, if things start going, there is that could happen. I'm not saying it's going to or it's even likely, but that's a possibility. You're gonna sit down and watch this game and your guy's gonna get benched, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he could throw it 37, 38 times. Right now at Fanatics, if you wanted 36 plus, it's plus 310. That's not that ridiculous. Like, that's not crazy at all. So that's where I'm at for the first one. I think that's my spiciest one too. So there's that.
It's a little spicy. Connor, any thoughts there?
No, I like it. I think that the Niners are going to have to throw more than they're going to run. Like, the Lions are a pass funnel. They're, allowing over 300 yards per game, over 8.5 yards per attempt since the bye. Like, they're literally just getting rinsed through the air. Also, looks like Debo might be back. So I think that could be a good look as well. Like there's all these different variety of, ways where I think that Purdy's throwing a little bit more. The only one that doesn't work is like Goff throws 2 pick sixes. I mean, that's the only way this doesn't hit, is like that's how it would have to be, because I don't really think that the Niners are going to have like a ton of success running. I think they might have more success than like the numbers would suggest, but I don't think they're going to be able to just like go massively run heavy,
Yeah, short pass game though, Connor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they actually can do that kind of stuff. Like they have those concepts where like they don't mind, swing passes to the running backs, stuff like that. I don't know. To be honest with you, what do you think about this? Is like, don't even do the 29.5, just because if he's going to throw 30 plus times, it's probably going to be closer to 40. Does that make sense? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you're probably in a game script where he's going to throw it 36 times. Like it's at plus 310. Like that's a good price, I think, for 36. That's not a record. 36.
It's a good price.
Where is that at? So where can you find
Fanatics.
36?
You can get 38 plus is plus 450. Not crazy. I mean, he just threw 39 times last week.
You just need the game to get hot, like you need to
get
the
game hot.
Weather's not bad. I checked the weather. I know you guys aren't weather guys, but like check the weather. Seems nice enough.
Nope, it's gonna be nice.
Toss the old pigskin around like 40 times. I mean, if you wanted 40, it's plus 750. 42 is plus 1050. 42 is not that much. What if they get behind? What if they get behind?
Oh, they'll get behind. You're absolutely cooking with the gas for sure, which is possible. I mean, Detroit can score, right? I mean, we know that's
They scored on them last week. They didn't look great against the run either. Like the Niners,
that's the problem.
Like you could just run the ball down their throat if you wanted to. So,
and that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem for Purdy attempts.
Yeah, well, the time.
Detroit can like stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see the right kind of runs too. You know what I mean? Like give me like a nice break off a nice chunk, like chunks here instead of the like 5 times every time. Give me like 40, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think the attempts are. I don't think that's like the first time I saw that number. I was like, wow, like that feels super low.
Yeah, there's probably some opportunities based off of what we saw last time with Purdy, and people obviously not Purdy. It was raining. He played poorly. The game was not a typical Niners game script for sure. So yeah,
I think
he
a little hands guy.
He's a little hands guy.
Hand guys, right? You guys little hands to him.
He's a little hands guy.
Yeah, I thought so. I could tell. Like, I might be a hands guy too. I didn't even know it. But I was watching the game last night. He's got those little hands.
Yeah, you got the little baby mitts. They got the
little baby gloves.
Yeah. He tried the medium glove. The medium glove was a little too big. He tried the small glove. Then he like just
it's large.
Just kicked off the glove pregame.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but we could have had just like a straight up all-time weather game between Goff and Purdy if we got like any weather of between them, the small hands game. Like the two combined have the same size hands as me, which is like,
now, who has the
pretty
smallest hands in the NFL? Is it Pickett? Is he the smallest hand guy?
Pickett has tiny hands. I believe Brandon Allen.
Double call timeout. Where are we getting the numbers from? The combine?
Combine.
Okay. And that just hangs with the guy forever because his hands aren't going to get bigger.
Probably not growing in hand size from like 22 to 24. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Pickett, they learn a lot on this show.
8.5 inches. I mean, that seems like aggressively small.
Yeah, those are those are baby hands. Like those are like
that's small.
Yeah, that's bad.
I don't have big mitts, but I have bigger than Pickett, and I don't have big mitts at all. So
I can palm a basketball, and I do not have big hands. I mean, it has to be like the rubber ones though, or I drop it but still, I'm just saying, not big hands. So I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought you were going to give us a rundown, Connor, of a couple other.
I'm looking. Taysom Hill has super small hands. Jared Goff, Purdy. I'm looking. Yeah, it's like Teddy Bridgewater's got super small hands. So a lot of them wear gloves because they need like some grip. That's why.
Yeah, I think I would go gloves if I was in the league. Just get gloves, grip, bam. You're all set. But gloves grow your hands. They say probably.
Is that how that works?
Quote.
Yeah. Joe Burrow had the smallest hands in his class, apparently, but 9 inches. So like that's like I feel like that's the threshold. If you have smaller than 9-inch hands, you're just kind of screwed. Like you're in trouble during the weather.
Dante Culpepper hands. I think he had little hands.
Yeah.
Who's got the biggest hands out there, Connor?
I think it was
Holmes.
John Hyslop. No, I'm just kidding.
Starts naming up all the Hall of Famers. Brady. Manning.
Let's see here. We got smallest and biggest. Let's see here from Russell Wilson, massive hands, 10 1/4.
Wow.
Rodgers, 10 1/8. Josh Allen, Stafford, Prescott. I mean, I see a pretty good correlation here to good quarterbacks and hand size.
Yeah, that's
Herbert, T-Law, Tua, Ben Roethlisberger, and Kirk both have above average hands. And then we start getting into the shitters. You know, we got like the Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, Davis Mills, Matt Ryan. I mean, it's a little bit of older list, but these are like the 9.5 or less. So I don't know.
Those don't work. Nope, not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. It's like the arms for pass rush. I learned that in the draft from you guys.
Yeah,
when they were the Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker. I tried to tell Mike Tannenbaum. We did a draft show with him that year, and he was like, Aiden Hutchinson. I was like, dude, it's gonna be Trayvon Walker. Aiden Hutchinson has little T-Rex arms. Like he can't even like reach in his pockets. You know what I mean? He has to, and he didn't like that very much. But it turns out I was right, and I had you guys to thank.
Yeah, if he's got an itch on his knee, he needs to bend over. He needs someone to help him for it.
Yeah, no, he's got to phone a friend. You know what I mean? Get those knees scratched.
Turns out he's a better football player than Trayvon, but in terms of what Trent Baalke was looking for, that's all we were trying to do there. We were just trying to figure out.
And you were right, 100% right. You guys got paid. I got in way late on that, but yeah, that was
it's a good time.
I learned a lot about arm size. Yeah, put it that way. Apparently, it matters in the NFL because they took a guy over another guy because of arm length.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right. First look for me here. I'm going to go in the same game. In maybe a reason that it doesn't work for Kittle, but we'll see. But George Kittle, longest reception, over 23.5 yards. This is minus 115 on FanDuel. I mean, we know that there's the possibility for angry runs here, right? Like Kittle as a ball carrier is one of the best in the league. But he's eclipsed this mark in 9 of the past 11 games. Great matchup for longest reception props. Lions have allowed the highest rate of explosive pass plays in the league this season, not by a little bit, and has gotten worse down the stretch here. On the season, it's at 10%. Again, league leaders. Since week 13, it's basically since December, 15.2%. The next closest team in terms of like worst, 11.6. So they are like significantly the worst. And down the stretch, like playing more important games, to positioning for the playoffs, actual playoff games, 2 playoff games that counts. They're also one of the worst tackling teams in the league, by far the worst tackling team remaining. So yeah, I mean, we know they're soft over the middle. We know that they like to win there. Again, like some of the Kittle stuff maybe is a little bit tougher if Debo's back in terms of like, receptions or whatnot. But for Kittle to like break one, I mean, like I said, 9 of 11 games, this is very much in the realm of possibilities, and I like it quite a bit here. So Kittle longest, I think longest, whether you want to go Purdy longest, I think it's like 40.5. There's just lots of ways to do it, but I think this is just a little too short for Kittle, who's probably going to have a nice matchup either against an undersized safety or, poorly coverage, poor linebacker in coverage. So 23.5, I think is a really nice number. 24.5 is out there in some other places as well, but FanDuel has the best number, and hey, that's why they're sponsored the show. Connor, any thoughts there?
I love it because I think right now the market is a little bit too high on Kittle, on Brandon Ayuk, because Debo's coming back. And the numbers just like haven't adjusted at all. So like they opened at like 57, 58 for Kittle, 71, 72 for Ayuk. Now we're looking like 80s for Ayuk, Kittle in the low 60s. So I much prefer longest reception at this point because I think Debo is going to play. We may not even get a market discount. We probably should, just because the matchup is so good. Like these guys are like, the market can be wrong relative to what it should be, and the guys could still go over because I mean the matchup's just awesome. And that's kind of the issue that I face. Like, that I would be the first one betting these unders if I felt like there was an edge. I did it with Zay Flowers early in the week. Mark Andrews coming back. Thought we could get a good nice under there on the receptions. We did. We got great value. Got it at like minus 115. It's like minus 170 now, minus 150 different spots. But I just don't think the value is there because the matchup's so bad, like they're so good for Kittle. So I love that look as a longest reception play.
Nice. Slop, any thoughts there?
That was the only one that I considered playing this week. Like receiving wise, I'm always looking for a receiver, big pass game guy. And without knowing about
Big tight end guy
Debo-
too, as we know.
Yeah, huge tight end guy since college, maybe earlier. But no, but without Debo, it's tough to take anything Kittle or Ayuk related. And I'm not taking Ayuk now. I mean, it's like you missed that boat if you like it's over. Just because, I mean, 80 something, that's crazy. He could obviously do it. Like, no one's saying that. I'm just saying, like, I can't do it. Like, I could have 70.
It's rich.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only thing that like was even remotely playable was Kittle over the Lions reception.
Yeah.
I mean, Ayuk's is like 20, like 30. Like, it's like he has to catch like a bomb.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, again, I'm not like I like Ayuk. Like, I think that's a good play, but the number and price, like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, they should eat. That's why probably Purdy is probably the best way to go about doing this. Someone gets a long one for Purdy. 40 is 40 and a half, I think, is the number. So,
Jeez.
All right, spicy section. Section. Yeah, that's where he's been all season, though. Like, that's where a lot of guys are, 38 and a half, 39 and a half.
No
so,
shit. I thought it was like 35. I'm not really in that market much, but I was thinking, like, I don't know. I just thought 35, 30, like 36 would be high.
I swim in the pool. I check in there often, and it's typically I played Purdy longest against the Commanders, who at the time had the highest rate of explosives allowed at 40 and a half. And of course, Purdy had a 40-yard completion in that game and not a 41-yard completion. So, spicy section. Also, at this point, hey, look, Lions are still alive. So this is still the Jammo section, right? We got some Jammo plays here, Connor. What are we looking for spicy uncorrelated Jammo? Where are we at?
So we might just have to talk about the spicy section for the rest of the show because I don't have any other props anymore because they're all just the market's been, cooked. So I got a bunch of stuff. We'll just start, kind of kicking around here. I think a fun one that I think is unique is Lamar rushing alts 80 plus and 100 plus. He's hit 100 plus in 3 of 5 playoff games. The Chiefs have allowed, other mobile quarterbacks to run on them. Willie Gay didn't practice again today. He's like their main guy who can spy quarterbacks, right? Isn't that like, I think that we're looking at a spot here where the way that they used Lamar last week too, super creative. I thought that was like, they were using him on the edge. He was getting upfield. He was throwing, or he was running way more than dumping it off. So I don't know. I think that like his upside here, especially if the Ravens fall behind at all, is just going to be like, massive. And we're looking at like 100 plus, getting like 5-1 on that basically. If you go to DraftKings, and then even 80 plus is like 2-1. So I think I would much prefer that than like over 66 straight or whatever it is. Because this line, the median line, is way higher than what we see. He's normally a mid 50s, but then we just saw him run as much as possible last week. And so everyone's like, and the matchup's good. So you're like, oh, got to go over again. So that's kind of like the issue with it, but I still think there's upside for, his like alts there. Yeah.
Cook last week. That was some of the best stuff that I had last week was Lamar to lead that game in rushing, Lamar over on attempts. That all came in pretty nice. So, I like it. I think the way to do it, like you said, is to ignore the binary number and go straight to the ceiling outcomes here. Slop, what do you got in the spicy section before I kick it back? I know Connor's got more stuff.
I don't mind that the 100 plus. I think that's how you play it. You know what I mean? The 90 plus, 100 plus, just because I don't know, like 60 something minus 120 something. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like he's gonna fly over that, or he's not gonna get near it, I think.
Right.
But what about Jahmyr Gibbs? 5+ receptions. If that turns into a game where the Lions are throwing the ball, the other side of the Purdy play would be like, so who's catching these passes from Detroit? Because they're going to be throwing. San Fran gave up the 4th or 5th most receptions to running backs this season. I think the running backs caught like 90 balls on them. Gibbs has they force fed him at times. When they got rolled by Baltimore, caught 9 balls. I know Montgomery didn't play that week, but there was 2 other weeks where Montgomery did play, caught 7 balls and 6 balls. He's caught 4 balls in each of the first 2 games. If this thing goes south, why not? What at 5 balls? It's plus 188 at FanDuel. 5 catches is not a lot. I hate doing running backs because you really got to nail the game script. And I don't know. Sometimes you need garbage time to bail you out. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but he seems to be part of their offense, though. It's not Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just check downs.
Yeah.
It's design shit. So, maybe you go over with the check downs, but 5+ at +188 is not that crazy.
I'm so spicy today. That's my next non-spicy play. Was Gibbs 5+ receptions. It was 194 first thing this morning. Then it was 188.
What about 6+, Ryan? 6+ plus 320.
Well, I want to back up your 5+ for sure, because I think you're spot on. I think you nailed it. Because look at the last 2 games in like leading game script. Essentially, he had so there's another alternative here is 40+ receiving yards is +280. Now he did that in the last 2 games as well. 4 for at least 40 in the past 2 games. And if he's catching 5 or 6 balls here, like we're talking about, feel pretty good about him getting to 40 yards as well. So I mean, like those games you're talking about, early season OT loss at home to Seattle is a shootout. He caught 7 of 9 targets, 39 yards. So just short of the 40-yard mark. But then you mentioned the blowout against Baltimore, game script dependent there, caught 9 of 10 for 58 yards. November against Chicago at home, the Bears are up 2 scores, 26-14 in the 4th. Gibbs caught 6 targets, 59 yards. So your handicap is part of it. So I think if you like Niners a little bit, or definitely think maybe Niners alts and the Niners can roll, then I think you really should like the Gibbs prop as well, because I think it leads itself into just more passing. Like again, if there's issues with the offensive line, like there's internal offensive line issues there as well. I think they have some edge advantages on the San Francisco side too. So just getting the ball out quick, in known passing situations. We talked about this a lot in our game preview show. Like clean pocket Goff, actually really, really good. Borderline, I would say borderline elite in the scenarios in which he takes a snap, is kept clean, and has time and can process. Accurate and makes big time throws and protects the football. Any sort of dust gets into the computer chip and it just goes sideways real fast. So that's probably going to happen a lot here. And when it does, that happens a lot. So just, it's like the Nintendo game, you got to take it out and blowing it. Like you're going to be blowing it all game.
Hard too.
Yes.
So talking about blowing Jared Goff. What's going on here?
I mean, hey. Everybody needs it. You know what I mean?
Gibbs just short and flat. I think is just going to happen quite a bit. So I mean, again, I like 40+ yards, +280, 5+ receptions, +188. Both those numbers I think on Gibbs are nice.
I want to be on the record. I hate running back reception props. I hate them. Like
for
they're
sure.
the worst. Unless it's over 1.5, and I know the guy's going to catch 5 balls. You know what I mean? But you never get those anymore. So I'm out. But
this lines up with the handicap too, of the fact that the Niners get pressure without blitzing. So he doesn't have to stay in and block. Worst case, he's chipping an edge, but they still get pressure. So they got to get the ball out quick, but he'll be open instead of staying in to max protect like the Bucks. They're just blitzing their face off, every play possible. So you got to stay in because you have an extra guy. But then if you get pressure with 4, he can go, wander around and run some routes there. And I disagree with Slop in the sense that I think the Niners, put a number on him and don't really keep it that close. So I think that actually helps this prop a little bit more. Also a little hack here that I started noticing on Caesars. I'm sure this is going to get changed now that we're talking about it. But so if you go to their alt receptions or their alt markets and you click on, so if you go to Jahmyr Gibbs, alt receptions, 5+ is +195, 6+ is +410. But if you click 6+ and 5+, just that, nothing else, it makes it +450. And the 6+ number is +410.
Mm-hmm.
It's a glitch. I don't know why it exists. I just did it. I just bet it. So, and if you do, say you want to bet the 5+, you bet 4+ and 5+, it turns that +195 into +200. So, I mean, again, that's minimal.
But that's the kind of cheating. That's the kind of cheating that I condone. Does that make sense? I think that's a great example of what's cool and what's not cool is the other stuff we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, also we're kind of Robin Hood in this scenario. We're taking money from the rich, from the sports books. We're giving it to the poor. Well, we're not poor, but the middle class, and I think that's good. That's exciting. We're not stealing from other middle class folk. It's not good.
Wait, I don't understand what we're doing. I just tried to do it. It didn't work. All right, so I select 4 and select 5.
Yeah. So you select 4 and you select 5 alt receptions, and it makes it +200. I don't know if I can.
Oh, it won't let me do it. It just says nothing. Like,
I just
can't-
bet it. I literally Slop. I don't know what to tell you. It's only on Caesars. I don't know about the.
Oh,
try-
Caesars. I'm on FanDuel trying to do it.
Oh no, FanDuel.
That
won't
might
let
be
you
We would
the
never
issue.
do that to
Oh,
FanDuel.
we would never do that to
No,
FanDuel.
no,
Yeah, that's my bad.
our show's
I was way
sponsored.
out of line. That was crazy. I was trying to do that to FanDuel.
Come on,
Sorry about
Slop.
that, man.
Whoa, that's bad form. No, yeah.
I'm doing that on
Caesars, you want to sponsor our show? We won't, jip you out a couple cents on our parlays.
Exactly. So get Caesars actually and do this. Cheat them.
Yeah, I did it with
Cool.
Stroud rushing attempts a couple weeks ago too. That lost, but it was, it felt good in theory. So,
Yeah.
and
as long
same with
as
this Gibbs stuff. It's kind of fun.
I'm definitely doing that. I wish I would have known that this morning. So I would have done it then when I picked this thing.
We made the bet. Yeah.
What another Jahmyr Gibbs prop market too is the rushing attempts is 14 plus carries is plus 400. I mean, that's like if for some reason they're having massive success running the ball, which I mean, I think that's their path of least resistance. We could easily see a 16 carries for, Montgomery, 14 carries from Gibbs, as long as they're keeping the game close. I mean, it's plus 400. And if you give ourselves a little boost here and you click the 13 plus, you get plus 430. Look at that. I mean, boom value. Who was the guy who tweeted that? Was that my boy?
Right there.
Was that my boy Sal Vitri too? That was good. Boom value, baby. No, but that's kind of fun.
That's fun. Good looks. I want to give another one that is again, I can't 41 minutes of the show, we've not talked about JAMO. Another one that doesn't you saving it? Yeah, we can do it. This doesn't go against Slop's Purdy stuff because I'm going to talk completions. So we can still get there on attempts, but I want to lean into the thought of like you can get multiple explosives from this Niners offense, right? So like we could still get there like on yards and completions being a little bit off, and still have like him go over on the attempts number. So with Purdy, if you want to go on DraftKings under 21.5 completions, over 279.5 passing yards is plus 460. Now, if you just want to jump it up and let's just go instead of 279.5, let's just add the 20 yards, go 300 plus, taking his alt number. That jumps up to 8-1. So you're basically getting like double the value for just adding the extra 20 yards. And look, it's Detroit. 5 straight passers have hit 300 plus yards. So we're not asking anyone to do like Nick Mullins did this very recently. So like everyone's been doing it now. What's that?
I'm broken again now. I'm gonna be trying to figure out. Oh my god, I can't believe you just gave me this idea.
8-1 under 21.5 completions, 300 plus yards, 284 a game.
Let's go
in
over
December and
attempts.
January. You can go
Over attempts, under completions, over yards.
Oh my gosh. Where is that? Is that a DraftKings special, Noonan? Is that what this is at? Yeah, because they don't let you do that on FanDuel, which I probably for good reason because it's kind of a hack, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Big plays. He gets
I'm trying to do it right now.
What do we need Slop to hit? 37 attempts? Right?
That would be amazing. So
20 for 37, 310 yards. We're all cooking.
We don't have a real you can't do the under completions. Oh, wait, my bad. You can't do a ladder, sorry. So under 20.5 Brock Purdy completions, and then over 30.5, it's 750.
Okay.
So under 20.5 completions, over but I think he's getting the completion. I mean, he'll be close on that, but it's 750, so like you should be sweating it.
Yeah, and like I said, DraftKings has a 21.5 on the completions. I did see some other books are out at 20.5 on the Purdy completion line. So DraftKings is probably the preferred way to do it since we still have the access to this
dude,
uncorrelated hack.
I'm gonna be thinking about this for the rest of the weekend.
Let's get the JAMO. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off here. I'm gonna throw a JAMO out.
All right, I'm going. Oh, but here, just one more thing.
Okay.
34 plus attempts, under 20.5 completions is plus 2,000. So like that could happen.
Yeah, just inefficient game. Happen. Yeah.
20 for 34. Oh, and then
300 plus yards.
300 plus. It is, I don't even know. It's broken. I can't even see. It's like plus 10,000. It throws for 300 yards. So 20 completions, 34 attempts for 302 yards, and you're rich. Like $50 gets you like $5,000.
I mean, you love to
Something
see it.
that's not that ridiculous. All right.
It's really
That's
not.
what people can dream about. It's like last week I had the uncorrelated Kittle parlays that Noonan brought up on the show. I had that as the first leg. Obviously, with those won. So under 4.5 receptions, I had 60 plus and 70 plus. He would have hit 80 plus. Actually, he had 4 for 83. So that was wild. The second half of my leg was Amon-Ra under 91 receiving yards and 9 and 10 plus receptions. He had 8 for 77, missed 2 5-yard catches literally easily, like at the end of the game. I mean, I'm just very happy my wife was not home because it was like a $15,000 win if he catches 2 more balls for less than 15 yards, 16 yards. So that sucked, but the thought was there. We won a little bit of money still. Trey Palmer got home for us with under 2.5 catches, 25 plus yards. That hit still for like, I think it was like 8-1, something like that. So I don't know. It's those are fun, and I'm excited. I mean, they're so fun. Until they fix it, we're just gonna keep jamming them, you know.
I think we have to. I think you could do it with like, saying the Ayuk thing this week. Like the number's crazy. Like under, any of the San Francisco guys. I think your best bet for those blindly is under receptions over yards, just because the big playability there. And
you probably do it again with Kittle, right? Like I feel like Kittle would
like 4 of them.
Kittle's great. Play again. I think
Kittle, Ayuk could be good, but the yardage is already super high.
Debo gets the cheap ones.
He gets
the
more
reception wise, but like Kittle and Ayuk just go over their yards. I mean, the yards are ridiculously high, but they can get it. Like that's the thing.
So Kittle does exactly what he did last week. Under 4.5, 80 yards, 20-1 on FanDuel.
He gifted us that late drop too, so that was also fantastic.
That was
turned up the field this little bit, and I'm like, no, and it was great.
Shark Burners is back. Where you been, Shark Burners?
Yeah, like tax season, he said.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Love it.
All right. So you want JMO?
We got to do something, right? We do this.
All right.
We only got 2 games left. We got to do something, right? So he's been in the mix, like caught 2 balls, 35 yards last week. That's kind of where he's been. Under 250 plus, it's 26-1. I mean, very
plus.
much
plus 800 at FanDuel. I'm sorry, plus 800 at Fanatics. FanDuel makes you go 90 plus 880. But if you want to do this, you could go 80 plus, and then his under, receptions, very fun. I think he's a 2.5 guy though, right?
He is, which is even better.
Yep, you need the 2.5 guy. No, they don't have it at Fanatics. They don't have his receptions. I
mean, 2.5, 50 plus, 26-1 on DraftKings.
That's 50 good.
plus.
But dude, it's gonna happen. Like we cannot not have a bet out on them whenever it happens.
1,000%.
That's gonna be my worst nightmare. If they're backed up, they're on their own 5. He catches a bullshit slant, like the Demaryius Thomas slant. From Tebow, and just keeps going. You're like, wow, like he's really fast. No one's gonna catch him, and it's like that's 90 yards. And I knew that was gonna happen at some time, and I did not bet it like an idiot. So not gonna happen. I'm gonna have it always. I'll go down with the ship on him. This could be the last time we see him this year. I mean, what better time to use him now? Like you need him. You gotta have him.
You gotta use it now because you've got it's drying up. The wall's drying up. So,
but plus 800,
that's a good
80
one.
yards. That's not that crazy.
See, the thing is, too, is if you combine like 2 of these, like, I mean, you're just like talking about like $1 million parlays. Like that's like, or like 10,000. Like literally, it was like my 2 Kittle and Amon-Ra ones were not that crazy. It was a $10,000 parlay for $20. Like, I'm not putting $500. Yeah, like that's fun, and it's sharp. I think semi-sharp, at least not dumb.
I can convince myself it is. You know what I mean? Like I can convince myself that's a smart move, John. That was a good call. No, like I hate when you post those on Twitter. Like this has nothing to do with anything. Like I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I'm gonna keep going. But no, when you post them on there, there's like donation. It's like shut up.
Who cares?
Of course it is. But like $10,000, dude. It's gonna hit once. It's gonna hit, and there's no way I'm gonna make $10,000 worth of these parlays. Well, maybe. So it's gonna take me a while to do it. Put it that way. It's gonna take me a while. But I don't know. I because I think they could hit. It's not $10,000 crazy for $10. You know what I mean? Or $20.
Yeah.
You need two guys, and they're two instances really. That's all. Like all your events are really two. It's 4 legs, but it's really 2 instances.
All right. So the JMO under 2.5, 50 plus, and then you add the Kittle. Let's just get a little bit. We can get more conservative with Kittle too. Under 4.5 and 60 plus. Right. So basically, what we were asking him to do last week.
Yeah.
170.
170 to 1.
Yep.
Wow.
60, put that in dollars. I'm like trying to find it right now.
I mean, you could do $50 to win. Yeah. $10 to win. What? 170 or 1,700. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I got watch. Let me cook. All right. So what you do? You take JMO under 2.5, over 80.
Over 80.
Yeah.
80's aggressive on 2 catches. But I'm with you. I get it.
Let's do it. That alone is 126 to 1, by the way. That alone is 126 to 1.
So he's going to catch 2 balls, fucking house both of them, and never catch another ball. Right? I mean, we might as well do 90 at this point, but we're going to keep it conservative and just go 80.
That's true.
Kittle gets a 60 and goes under 4.5, especially with Debo back. This will basically be on like literally 1 play. And then the rest will be just like nonsense receptions, probably.
It's just fine. We need the longest anyway.
I could talk myself into this. All right, so that'll be $10, get you $6,793.
I mean, why not us? You know,
it could happen.
It's $10.
It is, and if you do 90
not having it,
JMO, that's 10 to get 8,600. One just ridiculously long catch. You know what I mean? Just like he just gets behind people and just no one's going to catch him. Like that's all we need is one of those. And then they just.
Well, I just bet it while we're talking. So you know why not? Just throw a couple bucks on it.
That could happen. That's not that crazy.
I was at like a college basketball game and I was sitting next to someone. And they were like, "Oh, what'd you bet on for like today?" And I was like trying to show them a bet, but I'm scrolling through all my other bets that I had out. Like literally, it's like they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Because I'm like, I got all these uncorrelated parlays that I'm like scrolling through. They're like, "What is this shit?" And I'm like, "Oh, like trust me, it's sharp. It's sharp. Don't worry."
Yeah, no, this is really smart, dude. It's so I can't even explain it. It's so smart.
Oh man, hey,
we've hit a bunch.
We've hit a bunch. Like I mean. Not one every week, but almost. I mean, we've talked about enough that we're hitting one. Yeah. We hit one at least each of the last 2 weeks.
It takes one each week to be profitable, too. That's the thing. I mean, you're not betting 30 of them. Does that make sense? Like, that's the other part of it. Like, you're literally picking and choosing who you're betting here. So it's not like you have – we say we have 1 million of them. Like, you got like 4. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that ridiculous. Also, too, you could do it game by game. So let's say you did a few on the first game. And you're like, you know what? I'm not going to do it again for the second game. I'm tapped out. Or you hit one in the first game. Now you got more for the second. You know what I'm trying to say? There's ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's one or there's a couple that I like for the other game. I think you could do Rice under 6.5 receptions. I think it's just like way too high. And then over on yards, like 80 yards. That's like 10 to 1, something like that. I mean, 6 catches for 80 is like very reasonable, especially against a tough defense. You could play the MVS game if you want. Under 1.5 receptions, 25 plus yards is 8 to 1. I mean, he sucks, but whatever.
That's a great one though. That's one catch.
He's going to get 2 targets. They're both going to be 15 plus yards downfield. So
1,000%.
I mean, I got it. So if you throw in Rice with the other 2 that we just mentioned, now you're on like FanDuel's radar.
I'm
like
sure
they don't want you. They're going to make the call. They have to. They'll go under 80 plus for Rice, under 6.5 receptions. I'm with you on the under. 10 gets you 96 grand.
I mean, it seems pretty easy, right?
I would say Rice and Kittle. Like we could take.
I think those are the best ones. Yeah.
Take JMO, put him on the back burner. I mean, I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do one version with JMO and one without, just because I want to get 96 grand. But the Rice one's probably hitting. Yeah. And then the Kittle too is Kittle's not. That's not crazy. That's how you play Kittle, I think. Like that's the way, especially with Debo back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. One I really liked last week. I'm just building it now. See, yeah, I'm gonna do this one again because I liked it last week. Did not come through, but I liked it quite a bit. On the first game, Pacheco under 3.5 catches, 25 plus receiving yards. Right, you know, we don't love the running back reception stuff. It could be a little bit tougher to predict. So we need him to not catch 4 balls. Seems like a lot. You know, we're actually, you know, we're getting, was it minus 160 on under 3.5 balls. So, you know, book agrees with us. 25 plus. I mean, we know Pacheco could break tackles and get into space and, you know, make a play. Plus 750. Again, not even needing him to go crazy. If you add, let me see what we could do here. If we take the 25 plus with Pacheco, when we make it 40 plus, you want to go a little bit spicier, 22 to 1. So I feel good about 25 plus receiving yards and just catching 3 balls. So, you know, 3 balls for 28 yards. Thanks for your service. 750 on DK. I think that's a pretty nice one too. I'll have that one again.
I love how this show has just evolved into like a couple serious plays and then like 30 minutes of non-correlated parlays.
Man, we just building them on. And we got 2 games to talk about. I mean, what do we do?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we talked for 20 minutes about a fantasy, like, you know.
Shark Burners got the ultimate one here. I'm sure no one bet this because before we were doing this. Gus Bus caught 1 pass for 80 yards earlier in the season. I mean, God, that would be the nuts. I mean, his highest receiving prop is like 20. Like, oh, it's so good.
And it's not even that we have them for the show. Like, we're just building them on the show, which I think is.
Oh, yeah.
Part of
I got a couple of ideas, and then I just like we start spitballing. I think we just start going, you know.
Kelsey could be one as well, although his yards are high. I like the under on his reception. Actually, his receptions are down to 5.5 now. That's not great.
Yeah, you kind of need
to. Give me him at 7.5. I'll go under.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd probably go over receptions, under yards on Kelsey.
Yeah, but now it's 5.5. So I mean, going under that is kind of
you
get in the 6 and 7 range, where it's like you're pretty safe if it's 7.5, obviously, because that's just counting. But yeah,
I do like the Pacheco one, Noonan. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like the Pacheco one again. I'm going to go back to the well. I liked that a lot last week. And
what are we doing?
All right, I got one more. Do we have Nelson Aguilar receptions?
No, we don't. It's a really good one though.
Yeah, shoot. Okay, that would be the one.
At least I don't think so.
All right, so the optimal one for me are the speed guys, MBS, JMO, 2.5. So that way you can go under those over the yards, or then the reception ones that are at 4.5, 5.5, 6. You know what I mean? And where you're just like, I don't think he gets there, you know, because that's just the way. The Rice and Kittle are the one. JMO, if you want to quit your job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And the Niners spray the board with under receptions over yards, I think is fine too.
25 on that is 240 grand.
Yeah. I mean, Slop, that's perfect. Share that bet with us because I got to put it in because if you somehow hit it and I don't have that one in, I will be in tears sitting here just, you know, upset. The show might be canceled, you know, knowing that we could have won $250,000 each. Just off the bullshit that we're spewing right now.
Okay, so it's obviously nonsense, but it's not that crazy. All right, so you go JMO under 2.5 receptions, 90 plus yards. Not likely, but again, he just houses like 2 of them. George Kittle under 4.5 receptions, 60 plus yards. Rashee Rice under 6.5 receptions, 80 plus yards. $25 gets you 240 grand.
It's a good day's work.
Easy. Yeah.
The problem with, like I said, like JMO is obviously the issue, but again, 70-something ridiculous, like reception wise. I don't know how many he's catching. That's all.
Love it. Paying for mortgages here, vacations, additions to your house, whatever you need here. So,
do we want to rip through some listener questions?
Yeah, let's just do some questions here. We do a few quick. Right, cool. Slop, you got time, or we're gonna be quick?
I told him I'd be there 15 minutes.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, 4:15. My bad.
So we'll go 5. We got 5 minutes of questions.
I go
All right,
straight
perfect.
there from here, though, so we're good. Like, I don't have to move. I just open a
You don't
different
got to
route.
dress up or anything.
No, we're all set. I am dressed up.
Let's see.
New
Big
sweatshirt.
Dogs very active in the chat this week. KC
Yeah, he
kicker
was.
over 1.5 field goals. I don't know. I guess ask Jeff. Jeff
What's
said
Jeff think about
Badgley
it?
over 1.5 field goals made.
I
That's
kind of
Jeff's
like
kicker
the
play of
fact
the week.
that he said KC kicker. He didn't even name the guy. It's like that's next level right there.
Wow.
Who cares? No time for names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Dog said, fuck the names. We're just rolling anyway.
Kicker.
Jeff said free Kayshawn Booty. 23 bets a day is light work, barely betting at all. Yeah, I mean, if you're betting, well, we bet. I mean, 23 bets a day is nothing. My favorite part of that is that he bet on himself and lost both times, which is also
that's tough.
hilarious.
That's tough. I do like. I know my favorite part was how the story was reported about how much he won. Like he had 500 grand in winnings. I was like, that's not how it works. Like he deposited a large number and withdrew a much smaller number. That's not good. Trust me.
Those aren't winnings.
Good. But yeah,
I think he was net negative.
He won all these bets. And like, oh, he was pretty good, man. Look how much he won. It's like, no. That's whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you stop reading right then. It's like, I'm going to get dumber if I read this.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys thought, but my first instinct was, where did he get that much money to gamble with?
LSU.
Like that's like right, like this is his. I mean, was he a big NIL guy? Like, I mean, I guess enough to gamble with, right? Like, I mean, and they're paying for all of this stuff. I'm sure he had nothing else to do with the money, so it was just whatever he had. He was a legit negative 80 grand in a year, so it's like, I mean, he had to have money from somewhere. Right?
After winning all those bets, according to the articles that I read, I was like, that's not how it works, guys.
My bigger concern is that, unfortunately, I thought the Pats are going to need Kayshawn Booty to be a guy. That's the despair that the Pats are in, unfortunately. And now, Kayshawn will be, I don't know, you want a job next year? Jump in the slide in the DMs,
I like how he literally took bet on yourself, like literally. He like literally bet on himself. So I'm in. You know what I mean?
Mayweather did it, so why not? Why not anyone else?
I always bet on yourself. Always bet on yourself.
Yeah,
always.
I think that's the message here: is bet on yourself.
Okay. Yeah, when in doubt, if I could uncorrelated parlay myself, I would. It's just
that would be amazing.
Not in an applicable industry. Let's see. We got Brian Sullivan. Any look ahead Super Bowl MVP thoughts? Pacheco, it's 100-1 on FanDuel. Everywhere else 75-1. I mean, yeah, if you think the Chiefs are going to win, then yeah, like I mean, there's probably a couple good look ahead Super Bowl MVPs. The issue is like, so rarely do quarterbacks not win.
Also a hard sell to me to have the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and not be Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. That's,
you can get me on a McCaffrey, and I think there's like 750s or 8s on McCaffrey. Like that is probably something I could be sold on, but a Chiefs non-Mahomes MVP is hard sell to me.
I can tell you what the worst bet on the board is. Mecole Hardman, 750-1 Super Bowl MVP. No, sorry, 7,500. So 7,500-1. But still,
he can win it for the other team, maybe.
Yeah,
I hate to be the donation guy, but that's just you're donating to the Paddy Power.
That's a donation. That's a real donation.
Yeah, that's a real donation. Let's hear it. Big Dogs. Goff over 1.5 interceptions. Slop, any thoughts on that? I mean,
maybe I don't like the 1.5 on INTs. Give me one. I can do the over a half, but like once you get to the 1.5, it's like, you got to think about future you watching the game and just needing 2 interceptions. Like I don't know if like you're gonna need to mix that in with a bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? That cannot be your only bet going in.
Yeah, I mean, yes, minus 134 is on FanDuel for just 1 interception. So I don't know why 1.5, but I don't mind that at minus 134. That's actually kind of nice. Just have a interception, not 2 interceptions. CMC over 4.5 receptions. Noonan thoughts. I mean, Debo's coming back. It looks like he's actually like off the injury report today. Well, no, yeah, official injury designation will come. He's at practice again today though, so it looks like he's going to play.
I would lean this way. I looked at it. It's a big number for a running back, and game scripts can really make this tough. So you need to do the heavy lifting early, depending on what you think of this game. But it would be a lean over, but not a play that I'm super confident in.
I mean, hey, CMC under 4.5 receptions, 40+ yards, 10-1, 50+ yards, 28-1.
Put him in
You
the
know, why not?
parlay.
I don't think that's bad. I think all those Niners guys, like Noonan said, you can do the under receptions over yards because all of them are explosive. Not sure which ones are going to pop off, but pretty confident that, one or two of them are going to have massive days. OBJ over receiving. Are you an OBJ guy, Slop? I don't even know if we've talked about this before.
Nah, I'm good. That was a great catch. That catch was sick back in the day. The Giants one, but that's
like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's been a while.
So good.
It's not even really on the field, which is interesting, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was the problem last week. Is he rerun like let's see,
8 routes?
Yeah, 8 routes, not great.
He was one of my he was in the big parlay. The the other great thing about those parlays is you'll hit one side, not the other, and you're like, man, we were right there. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really not. But yeah, he was one of the ones I was right there with. Like he had the receptions under, but it's not the yards.
So good. Justice Hill, Gibbs, combined rushing receiving over. Yeah, we already talked about Hill and Gibbs. I think both those are really solid looks. Lamar over 100 rushing. I love that as well. Jeff, I want to date T Swift, so her next album will be about substance abuse and gambling. Wow. All right. I wouldn't, it would make sense. Also a lot of Chicago slander going on from Jeff. Don't appreciate that on Twitter, but we can get into that another episode. Yeah, I know. Just hate. He's a hater. It's all right. It's I like Boston. I like the city. I like the Northeast. It's nice.
I like anybody that's going to stand on their takes, though. If that's his take, stand up. He can never, ever, ever relent, though. He can never come back and be like, yeah, I guess you're right. No. You said your piece. Now stay in that corner. You know what I mean? Like you hate it.
If Jeff ever wants coming out in Chicago and
say it's good, you know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He probably was like touring the South Side and it's just like, going through all the drive-bys and everything. And, it's part of the city. It's part of the city, unfortunately. Part
of the experience.
Yeah.
All part of the experience. Yeah. Jeff, you come back, just come out to the burbs where I am. We're kind of a poo-poo on the burbs. It's really nice out here. It's really nice.
The burbs are great. Okay. My point was that what I like about Chicago in summer is like you get to take a boat through the river, you get to go to the playpen, go to these nice restaurants and be outside and do all this fun stuff. Like that exists in the burbs, but it's not the same as the city, because it's like you got to drive.
That I agree with. For sure.
And the golfing is amazing in the burbs. It's way quieter. Again, the burbs definitely has plenty of pros.
Yeah. It's a quick, short drive to the city. And then you can go right back to your house.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Right.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Hopefully we make you some money. Again, Slop's trying to build additions to your home, get you out of your apartment into a home, whatever your situation is, building 10 to win $205,000 parlays live here in the show. Can't find that anywhere else. So make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe on your way out. We'll be back for some sort of Super Bowl nonsense. And again, just make sure you're hanging out with us here on the 44 Bets YouTube channel because we will pick up soon. Draft stuff coming. We'll start to look at 2024 coaching changes, how that impacts the league, all those types of things coming soon. Slop, Odds Jam, what do they need to know?
Promo code SLOP, the greatest pricing tools in the game. I've been using the live EV tool. It's legitimate. Like it's crazy. The other night they were behind. Fanatics were behind on one of the games. So we knew the score, but the line was off. Like it's dude, come on. I would have never found it without Odds Jam. Just saying, go there. Promo code SLOP, free 2 weeks.
Love it. Check that out. Take advantage. And we'll be back soon. So for Connor and Slop, I'm Ryan. We'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.